Pakistan has been on the edge since opposition parties on March 8 submitted the no confidence motion before the National Security Secretariat, alleging that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government led by Prime Minister Khan was responsible for the economic crisis and the spiraling inflation in the country. Two special trains have been mobilized by the national transporter, Pakistan Railways, from Lahore and Islamabad at the request of the government to transport its workers. Thousands of supporters of the Prime Minister are coming in trains, public vehicles, and private cars to attend the historic rally of the ruling party. The PTI caravan coming from Karachi, Lahore, Peshawar, and other cities will reach the parade ground here to attend the rally under the theme of Enjoying the Good. The public meeting will be largest in the history of the country and have a great impact, Educational Minister Shafqat Mohammed told reporters. The call for the rally was given by Prime Minister Khan, as he has been trying to present his fight against a group of crooked opposition leaders. But still, many believe that the gathering could be his swan song due to the odds of no confidence heavily decked against him. Separately, an equal charged political event will be held in Islamabad on Monday by the Pakistan Democratic Movement, an alliance of opposition parties. An Ukrainian member of parliament criticized President Joe Biden, saying US has not done enough to help European nation which is currently at war with Russia. Taking to microblogging site Twitter, MP Ina Sosan wrote that Biden had not said a single word that would make Ukrainians feel reassured. I will be blunt, I do not hear a single word from the US President that would make me, as Ukrainian, feel reassured that West will help us more than doing right now, which is not enough. I am happy he reassured Poland, but the bombs are exploding in Kiev and Kharkiv, not in Warsaw. She wrote. Meanwhile, Biden on Saturday called his Russian counterpart a butcher who cannot remain in power, a remark that was played down by the White House. US President Joe Biden on Saturday called for Russian leader Vladimir Putin's removal, saying, "For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power." Biden also used a speech in Poland's capital to make a vociferous defense of liberal democracy and the NATO military alliance, while also saying Europe must steel itself for a long fight against Russian aggression. In what was billed by White House as a major address, Biden spoke in front of Royal Castle, one of Warsaw's notable landmarks that was badly damaged during World War II. He borrowed the words of Polish-born Pope John Paul II and cited anti-communist Polish dissident and former President Lech Walesa, as he warned that Putin's invasion of Ukraine threatens to bring decades of war. In this battle, we need to be clear-eyed. This battle will not be won in days or months either, Biden said. The crowd of about 1,000 included some of Ukrainian refugees who have fled for Poland and elsewhere in the midst of brutal invasion. We must commit now to be this fight for long haul, Biden said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky criticized Russian authorities for allegedly abandoning their killed soldiers. It's scary because when this is how they treat their own people, then how do they treat others? It's barbarism and it will end badly, Zelensky was quoted as saying during his interview to Russian media. Zelensky said the Russian soldiers killed in the Ukraine war are either abandoned or taken home in what he described as garbage bags. Zelensky reportedly said he didn't understand why soldiers' families were accepting this treatment to the bodies of killed soldiers. Zelensky even questioned the purpose of Russia's fighting against Ukraine. In Ukraine, we understand what we are fighting for. And what about you? What is going on in your country, in Russia? I don't understand it. It is a tragedy, and a tragedy that is harming us, Zelensky said. Zelensky's statement came amid Russia-Ukraine war, which has been dragging on for over a month now. Thousands of Russian soldiers have reportedly been killed in the war. Meanwhile, United Nations confirmed 1,119 civilian deaths and 1,790 injuries across Ukraine. The UN, however, said the real toll is likely to be higher. The World Organization also said more than 10 million have been displaced in a devastating war that has gone on far longer than Moscow leaders expected. Russia and Ukraine are all set to hold peace talks in Turkey this week. Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine's priority during the talks will be the sovereignty and territorial integrity of his country. He had earlier suggested he was ready for a compromise, news agency Reuters reported on Monday. Zelensky said on Sunday that his government is carefully considering a Russian demand of Ukrainian neutrality, a key point of contention, as negotiators for both sides prepare for a fresh round of talks aimed at ending the brutal month-long war. As China pushes for renewable energy, its first gigawatt-scale offshore wind farm has produced over 1 billion kilowatt hours of energy that can provide electricity to 5 lakh families of 3 for a year. The energy produced by wind farm is equivalent to 3,07,600 tons of standard coal that would have been burned. According to CGTN, with a total installed capacity of 2 gigawatts, the project can provide 5.6 billion kilowatt hours of clean electricity annually. The wind farm, located in the coastal area of Shapa town, South China's Guangdong province, has successfully managed to reduce 840,000 tons of carbon dioxide emission. The Shapa project employed top-of-the-line technologies that are used in offshore wind power projects globally. Wang Wubin, chairman of China Three Gorges Renewables, told China Media Group the wind farm consists of 315 offshore turbines, 4 offshore booster stations, and almost 1,000 kilometers of submarine cables. The wind farm is the first of its kind project in China that has an active anti-typhoon system which can be remotely controlled with the help of satellites. The project has made inroads by supplying clean energy using submarine cables that can withstand harsh oceanic environments and resist corrosion, among other factors. The sun, which is becoming increasingly active as its new solar cycle becomes more and more violent, exploded a coronal mass ejection that is headed towards Earth. The Center of Excellence in Space Science at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Kolkata, estimates that a massive surge of energy and plasma will hit Earth on Thursday. The coronal mass ejection is one of the biggest eruptions from Sun's surface that can contain a billion tons of matter accelerated to several million miles per hour into space. This solar material streams out through interplanetary medium, impacting any planet or spacecraft in its path. When a really strong CME blows past the Earth, it can damage the electronics in our satellites and disrupt radio communication networks on Earth. The solar flares were released from active region 12975 and 12976 on Sun on March 28. The center said that these flares strike Earth's magnetic field. There is a possibility of coronal mass ejection induced moderate geomagnetic storms. Our model FIT indicates a very high probability of Earth impact on 31st March with speeds ranging between 496 to 607 kilometers per second, the sender said in a tweet. This is not the first time that a geomagnetic storm is said to hit Earth. The frequency of space weather events has increased as the sun is now its new solar cycle ramping up activity. Elon Musk, SpaceX, was on the receiving end of one of these geomagnetic storms earlier this year that killed 40 Starlink satellites. The geomagnetic storm was the result of a coronal mass ejection from the sun by an M1 class solar flare that lasted for about 4 hours. Actor-director Chris Rock has reportedly refused to file a complaint against this year's Oscar winner Will Smith after the latter smacked him on the face for cracking a joke on his wife Jada Pinkett Smith. Chris Rock, who was one of the presenters at the 94th Academy Awards held on Monday, joked about Jada Pinkett Smith looking like G.I. Jane 2. I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2, Chris Rock said, referring to the 1997 film starring Demi Moore as a soldier with a shaved head. Will Smith lost his cool, got up on the stage and punched 57-year-old Chris. The live telecast was briefly cut off after the incident. He then took his seat and yelled at Chris. Smith said, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Later, Will Smith won his first Best Actor award for his role as Richard Williams in the film King Richard. Richard Williams is the father of tennis stars Venus and Serena Williams, according to a statement released by Los Angeles Police Department. If the party, Chris Rock, desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete an investigative report. At 94th Academy Awards, Jessica Chastain won the Best Actress award. Coda wins the Best Picture award. Jane Campion wins the Best Director award. The group of 7 major economies have agreed to reject Moscow's demand to pay for Russian natural gas exports in rubles, the German energy minister said Monday. Robert Habeck told reporters that all G7 ministers agreed completely that this would be a one-sided and clear breach of existing contracts for natural gas, which is used to heat homes, generate electricity, and power industry. He said officials from France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada met Friday to coordinate natural and that European Union representatives also were present. Habeck said that the payment in ruble is not acceptable and we will urge the companies affected not to follow Russian President Vladimir Putin's demand. Putin announced last week that Russia will demand unfriendly countries pay for natural gas only in Russian currency from now on, instructing the central bank to work out a procedure for buyers to acquire rubles in Russia. The demand sent already high gas prices even higher amid fears it could be a prelude to a natural gas shut-off, which could disrupt Europe's economy and hurt Russia's finances. Economists said the move appeared designed to try to support ruble, which has collapsed against other currencies since Putin invaded Ukraine on February 24, and the Western countries responded with far-reaching sanctions against Moscow. But some analysts expressed doubt that it would work. Asked by reporters early Monday if Russia could cut natural gas supplies to European customers if they reject the demand to pay in rubles, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in a conference call that we clearly aren't going to supply gas for free. In our situation, it is hardly possible and feasible to engage in charity for Europe, Peskov said. Trouble continues to mount for Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's government ahead of April 3 no confidence vote in country's National Assembly. With less than a year to go for national elections in Pakistan, Imran Khan is facing a challenge from opposition parties. The country was plunged into political chaos after Pakistan Muslim League leader Shehbaz Sharif moved a no confidence motion against the Imran Khan government on March 8. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf led coalition government needs the support of at least 172 legislators in 342 member National Assembly to survive the April 3 vote. As per Pakistan's media, the exit of Ally Muttahida Qaumi Movement Pakistan on Wednesday has brought the PTI-led ruling coalition down to 164. The opposition, on other hand, now has the support of 175 legislators. Opposition leaders held a joint press conference welcoming the exit of MQMP convener Khalid Makbul from the ruling coalition. Later in the day, PM Imran Khan decided to postpone his address to the nation with calls for his resignation growing louder. One will have to wait until April 3 to see if Imran Khan manages to emerge as the only Prime Minister in Pakistan to complete a 5-year term in the office. Russian President Vladimir Putin's advisors fear telling him the truth about his failing Ukraine war strategy, the head of Britain's top communications spying agency said Thursday. Putin had massively misjudged the invasion, the director of Britain's intelligence agency, GCHQ, Jeremy Fleming, said in a prepared speech to the Australian National University in Canberra. His remarks, released in advance, echoed US intelligence issued by the White House the previous day indicating Putin was being misinformed by his advisors about the progress of Russian operation. Western intelligence sources have been keen to play by Russia's failures in the war and highlight divisions within Putin's inner circle. The Russian leader had also overestimated his own military ability to secure a rapid victory, he added. We have seen Russian soldiers short of weapons and morale, refusing to carry out orders, sabotaging their own equipment, and even accidentally shooting down their own aircraft, Fleming said. And even though Putin's advisors are afraid to tell him the truth, what's going on and the extent of these misjudgments must be crystal clear to the regime. Russia's public statement this week that it would radically reduce combat operations around the capital Kyiv and the northern city of Chernihiv perhaps shows they have been forced to significantly rethink, Fleming said. Britain's intelligence service had, however, dictated a sustained intent from Russia to disrupt Ukrainian government and military system, he said.